Well, good evening, everybody. How are we doing tonight? And yes, it's still light outside, just about. It won't be for long, don't worry. Right, let's just quickly pour out some cola as well while we're waiting for people to kick in. And of course, phone isn't on mute, is it? I always forget one or two things before stream. Does everyone else have the same problem? People who stream, do you forget one or two things pre-stream that you should possibly remember? And it makes me look a little unprofessional, which I am. Okay, let's see if I can get everything into some sort of semblance of sense. That works, that doesn't. Oh! I was hoping to see things in the terminal here. Okay. That kind of works. And I know that you can't see what I'm looking for. Oh, I need to install Fate, don't I? Hang on. Trying to do all the things that I should have done before stream, including checking that everything works on the new reinstall. Bother. Okay, impromptu start to the stream. Why don't I do this bit on stream, because it's not actually that what's it. So, at the moment, I've got a machine reasonably well set up. I do, however, need to install Fake as a global tool on it. So, Fake global install. And that's the command. Okay, let's see what happens here if I do that. So .NET tool install. Okay, that's installed. By the way, let's bump the font size up a bit. Use the correct font. Yeah, go on. We'll use Fire Code again. Ligatures. Do we get ligatures to play with? Because let's face it, this is the reason we use Fire Code. Terminal's font size can go up to 16 as well. Because, again, why would it not? There we go. We've got something looking reasonably reasonable. Right, so let's kick in. By the way, for those sort of watching on YouTube, I'm not going to pause and then start again to do a YouTube intro. So you're now getting to see roughly what the start of these streams look like. Let's go back into full screen for a moment. And then let's have a look at what let's have a chat about what we're trying to do tonight. Let me respond to messages, because I need to respond to messages as well. So, tonight, what I'd like to do, and oddly enough, I'm going to quickly do I have to do a kill the terminal. I'm going to do that, aren't I? Let's be sensible. So, tonight, our plans are, I would like us to be able to parse a text file with some time codes in it and send the data down to our client side. Wow, Fake is apparently still not installed. I've done the .NET tool install. I have. Let's have a look. So, I've got Fake installed as a tool. However, let me just have a look in the PowerShell quickly. As I was saying, what we're trying to do is install... Okay, so that is installed, so we need to kill that completely. We're trying to parse out some timestamps from a simple text file. Send that information down to... I don't like how that's not working. Send that down to a client, at which point our client app. Yeah, this is going to require a restart, isn't it? Which we're not going to do. Right, what I'll do for now is just try and remember that I need to use that PowerShell here. And go fake dash build t run. Because this makes more sense. What? CD documents, old man teacher. I don't know what's going on there, but that will have to do. We have fake up and running. Node was not installed. Bother, I don't have Node installed on this, do I? I can see me having to do a reboot at some point. Node JS. This is what happens when I don't test things out on my freshly reinstalled machine. Thankfully, there's not a huge amount of people to see this embarrassment here. I do expect that on YouTube there will be plenty. If you have found this on YouTube, you will probably find the link to these Twitch streams there. If you are watching on Twitch, I will at some point find a way of linking in my YouTube channel, because I haven't done that yet. Because I probably should have done. Anyway, Node's downloaded, so let's give that a good installing. Yes, I accept the terms. Do as you please, whatever. Yeah, do that, do the thing. I'm now going to have to kill this PowerShell, aren't I? Can I not just simply open a PowerShell here? Seriously, is fake now still going to... Yeah, it's not going to work from there. Weird stuff. Okay, so let's fire up PowerShell again. CD old man documents, old man teacher, fake build t run. And it said that yarn wasn't found on the path. Okay. npm install global yarn. Let's install yarn. Have another go. Wahey! We're getting somewhere. We're actually getting somewhere. This is handy. And .NET Restore, yeah, we're serving stuff out. And up it pops in a browser. Yes, Netcore host can go there. And here we go. Let's just see what happens. Yarn, PTSD from work. I'm literally using it Fuel Snable just because it's there. And for no other reason at all. Just because Fable kind of uses it, and I'm not going to argue with it. My other option would be NPM, and I think I would prefer Yarn to NPM. So we've got this, let's mute, and we know that we can go to the beginning of a video, we can go to another part. So we've got something working. We've now got a text file that goes along with this educational stream, which if I go into my downloads, let's take that off the... Where's it for a minute? Find that. So we have this text file that we need to parse. And I don't see this being particularly difficult. So it's literally timespan space dash space description on each line. Now, are we gonna go around? Are we gonna regex this out? My answer to that is probably a big no. Why don't we look at using fparsec, because we can parse number, get a colon, parse number, get a colon, parse number, get that specific set of characters, and then get anything up to a new line. And I think fparsec should do that roughly as I've just stated. Good evening, Voodoo32. How are you doing? By the way, I haven't spoke to everyone since Sunday night. How's the start of everybody's week? I hope everyone's had a good start to the week. Hopefully getting into the swing of things. Hump day tomorrow, in case you're not. Moving to New Hampshire next year, Voodoo 32. You're based in the UK at the moment, aren't you? So you've got... I've never been across that side of the pond. I've never been to sort of anywhere in America. New Hampshire is America, isn't it? Tell me it's America and not like Canada and I've completely messed up. Yeah, it's in the US near Canada. I've never been over there. But from what I've heard of your accent, you sound decidedly British to me. No major incidents at work so far, and you think you saved 16 grand a month today for the work for your snable. Well, $16,000. About £14,000 these days? I don't know me conversions. Well, I'm glad to hear that there's been no major incidents. Have there... Hang on. You're saying no major incidents for your snable. Just for the avoidance of doubt, does that mean you've had minor incidents? I'm guessing probably so. Hey, you don't really have an accent, Voodoo 32. Nobody believes that they have an accent. People do. Ah, okay. Dare I ask about the minor incidents for your snable, or is that probably not going to be a clever idea? Just a thought here. I know that we've got client and server. And shared files there. Before trying to integrate this with Fable, would it be worth us creating a quick project to see if we can parse this out and then move it across to the Fable application? Yeah, you used to live in the northwest, then the northeast. Odd mixture. I've lived in the Midlands and the northwest. So, read from that what you will. I don't know what my accent is anymore. I really don't know. Oh, and I've got a southern partner. A few cranky old batch jobs that don't want to work nicely for you, clusters that won't behave, metrics agents that won't start as they should. Oh, that's a bit of a so-and-so, isn't it, Fuel Snable? First off, when I read that quickly glance, I was like, customers. I saw customers instead of clusters. I'm like, yeah, customers don't behave. They're very good at not behaving. That's kind of their raison d'etre. Minxie sounds like a Londoner. She says she doesn't, but she does. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree. Minxie Rose is basically a Londoner, to all intents and purposes. I mean, people from down there don't necessarily all think they're Londoners. They are. How's the sound? I'm kind of worried that we're starting to get clipping again. So let me drop that so that it doesn't go too much into the red. Hopefully everyone can still hear me fine. The meter on OBS says that you should. So that's a good idea. So yeah, let's go and just throw something together. Do we, or do we say blow it and stick it in here? Let's go all in. Well, we need to learn how to receive a post, so let's do this. Let's go. I want an API that works. I'm not bothering about URLs and stuff at the moment. I want an API that with an application. Hang on. So we've got an application with user router web app. Web app is that from remoting.from value counter API. Remoting.build HTTP handler. So have I got to look at remoting? Essentially, I want a way of posting this. Do I? Or do I do this? Do I change this completely and go, you know what, we'll not have an iCounter API anymore. Let's say we'll have an timestamp API. Ah, and you've got a high priority request from the DPO, whoever that may be, Data Protection Officer, that you need to delete all data for an extra angry user. Ah, yeah, users get like that these days. So yeah, your customers aren't behaving. That's fair. Full disclosure, I have been known to be that very angry user. So let's have a look at our types here. We wanted the text file to drop down, and the text file is essentially going to be a stream. A stream will have it'll be a list of things, won't it? So it'll be a timestamp list. Now, we don't have timestamps, so let's have a timestamp. That will be a time will be of type. Hang on. Time span. Oh, hang on, that's open system. Can we use time span in Fable then? Do you know what? Let's try it. Guess the state motto of New Hampshire. I don't know. Go for it. And you hope I grow legs one day? Voodoo, I do have legs. I just don't show them off on stream. Can I open system in Fable? Will Fable play nicely with a time span? Let's find out. Let's not have the old man playing. Fable system dot time span. Okay, so something came up about that. Time span. Let's have a look in the wiki. By the way, I do know that the new I do know that there's been news about Fable. I don't know much about that. So what are the pages? Find a page. Why did this say something about... Oh, okay, compatibility. .NET base class library. System.timespan is available. That'll do. Live free or die, says Fuel Snable. If that's the case, that's a rather grim motto to work with. Okay, so timespan's there, and we also need a description as a string. So iTimestamp API is now going to have well, it's not going to be initial counter anymore, is it? It's going to be initial video for now, or initial stream. That's going to return an async of timestamp. So, we've now got an iTimestamp API with a timestamp on it. So, client. Well, we don't have an initial count loaded anymore because we don't care about that. So this is all... Oh, hang on. Yeah, of course we can do that, can't we? So we can go... If not is null x. And go on, let's see if this can do it itself. Is there a state with the motto, let's all be friendly with each other? I would hope that that were a really great No, I'd like that to be a motto of a country or a state. I think that's a lovely motto for your Snable. Video 32, it's called Primary School. Hopefully if we can teach kids that in primary school, they can grow up to be adults that understand it in the adult world. Oh, actually, there's something else. We'll go on to something else in a minute as well. I'd forgotten there was something else I wanted to deal with. Server now has errors because we don't do initial counters anymore. So for now, let's say, let's call this get initial timestamp. Yeah, I must admit, for your Snable, I have the same issue. Get initial. Getting it timestamp. Yeah, we can go for getting it timestamps. That is a task of stream. No, not of stream writer. Of stream, I think we called it. Yeah. And we're going to return a list of time stamp equals what we're looking for a time span. Zero, zero, zero. That should work, shouldn't it? And description. Beginning of stream. So we'll work from the data out on each end. So what's this now moaning about? Well, that doesn't need to be moaning there. Timestamp? No, it's just time, in fact. That's fine. Time span, what's moaning about time span? We need to use system.timespan. That is hours, minutes, seconds. Perfect. We're getting somewhere. Chaotic freedom is much better than peaceful slavery. I think we're verging towards political. I think I'm going to reserve my comments from there and try and drag us gently away from that. Yeah, I'm with you there, Fuel Snable. Mine was pretty similar, to be fair. Anyway, let's get some new lines in here because it tidies things up a little bit. Okay, so initial counter is now not defined. We want initial stream. And that is getting it timestamps with async await task. Why is this now saying that? Why is this moaning? Getting it timestamp. Yeah, returns a task of stream. Then async.await task. Oh gosh, hang on. Counter API. Yeah, because in shared I said that it was an async timestamp and I was wrong. It's an async of stream, isn't it? Because we want to send down streams, not just the time, an initial timestamp. So that's from the server's end. We're now spitting out that time span, and we'll chuck another 2 in, I think. So let's go back to our cheat sheet and get actual ones out. So we'll have the 12-minute intro with audio one. We'll have 2712 as that. And we will pick First Week Hamlet Basics as 3320. 33 and 20, and that was... And let's stick a 00 there. The hours never goes above a single digit, so that shouldn't be too much of a pain. Voodoo 32, sometimes you wish you were alive during the colonial era of the US in one of the 13 colonies. Not sure why, it'd just be cool to live during that period. See, I quite like being alive now because I can imagine all of history and I can learn about history. What I can't do is learn about the future. And that's something that only happens when it happens. Okay, so Counter API is now a timestamp API. And I've done my usual boo-boo there, haven't I? That's actually F2. Timestamp API there. You either learn the history or make the history. There's an argument for that. Yep, I agree. But now we've got a timestamp handler that should work. So how do we, from that, come back into here and use Fable Remoting? Now, this is all stuff that we deleted about the counter stuff because we wanted the counter gone. That we did say we would need back at some point and we could look up at, and we don't need the old man playing. So, how about I go and just quickly in a new folder... Generate a new... No, let's not generate a new app. Let's just look up Fable Remoting. Okay, so we've got the interface on the server. We're exposing it. And now I want to call the functions from the client. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we can just grab an API out of it. So let's do this. And we need remoting. Where is remoting? It's in Fable Client Remoting. That's not iGreeting API, that's iTimestamp API. And we'll have it as, we'll call it Timestamp API. Why not? So, oh, my throat's getting sore. I don't know if we're going to get to the text parsing side of this tonight, or if I'm really just going to do a very short stream and try and get the UI side of this done. Because I will admit I'm not feeling 100% my best. So let's keep things a little bit more reasonable and kind of try and save text parsing to next time. That being said, we can carry on with this. So to start using the service, we can call things on it. Well, there's nothing too tricky there. So let's say that init player is command of func. Well, that is the create player command, isn't it? That calls a Twitch player with options. This needs to be a command of async, really, doesn't it? When we say we create the player, do we not do that down here? Create player is that function. So, I mean, there's an argument. Do we even need that initial player as a message? Player loaded, hang on. Yeah, it dispatches that player loaded for us. And it says that that needs to take the... I wonder if that actually is what we wanted there beforehand. So let's go back to our version of it. Let's do a... Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to here and start this again. Okay, so that whole sort of creating the player as an initial command we didn't need to do. Well, that's absolutely fine. That's wonderful, in fact. By the way, let me just, now that we've kind of spooled up a little bit, let me go into there and send some thank yous to people. So, thank yous go to Yak Pie and to Sushi Codes for their hosts. Thank you very much for your hosts, people. I'm back on with it. I'm going to start segueing into them kind of spots in the most awkward way possible. I've decided now. So that whole initial player, commander, functionate player, yada yada yada, isn't actually that important. We need a command of async instead. So we can create that player separately. Let's have a function. Well, what did we say? We need timestamp API dot whatever. So, okay. Should we do a command of async timestamp API dot initial stream? So what is command of async? Command of async takes, it takes all the things, doesn't it? Takes an A to an async of B. Well, initial stream is, yeah, that works. Okay, I'm happy with that. So, let's have a look at this. So this is command of async. Let's call it init stream. Timestamps. We'll have as none for now as well. That'll now start moaning. Oh, why has that not moaned? Timestamps is a stream option. That now is correct in not moaning. So init stream is a command of async. Which takes the initial stream. We now need a of success, which is a something to a message. So the message is going to be a message of stream, isn't it? Let's say that it's stream loaded of stream. So we can get that, and then we'll pass that off as the command. Now, update. I need to actually take that for now out. Because then this will start moaning at me and try and force me to do things. So that... Do you know what? We'll let the error case fail. But the stream loaded case needs to actually be... I'll take a stream and it'll spit out a current model, but with timestamps equaling that stream. and a command none. Oh, some stream. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Okay, so in theory, we've now got the stream. That's essentially what I was hoping to do. So now we've got these buttons, which are each in columns and whatnot. What happens if we try and do something different? So let's say we have below that. Let's do it below this. In fact, we'll do it below this container. And I now just want rows. So let's have a look at Fulmer and see what Fulmer does. Layouts, container. So containers can have content. You can have columns as well. So let's say that we're not going to have a column. And let's say, is there a list item in here? Or are we just looking at buttons? We are looking at buttons. That is all. So we need full width buttons. Really. List of buttons? Wonder if we can have that kind of thing, if we can just throw a list at Fulmer. Modifiers are there. Components. So cards are available, but really we're not that bothered. Breadcrumbs, modals, messages, medias, drop down. So you hover over and you can get them. That's nice enough. I don't really like that, to be fair. What's a panel? Oh, okay. Now this is interesting. This is very interesting. And there's a box, which is just a box to contain elements. A delete icon. A content. Form. Yeah, there's nothing usually great. Where's the submit and cancel buttons? Are they just literally next to each other? For now, let's just suggest that we're going to throw buttons directly into a container and see what happens. So instead of having the buttons in columns, in fact, just for the sake of it, let's suggest that we're going to use those two same buttons now. And we don't want them. Okay, so let's say that that's the answer. Again, that isn't the answer. My bracket matching is pretty poor. I know that someone commented on the YouTube video to try and help me find something to help me match brackets up. Just need to find a consistent style, really. Let's see what that looks like. Now, has this all reloaded? Or have I got to do it manually? Oh, I've got to do it manually by definition anyway. Even though it probably would have done that for me. No, I have got to do it myself. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Okay, so I've got buttons there that are I suppose reasonable enough. I'm not that bothered about this looking particularly pretty. I just want to see if I can get the buttons down to the point that I could almost create a control to just do this, create a function. So let's say model wonder if we can do this with a seek computation expression, if this will take a sequence or if it is just a list. It'll take a sequence. That's cool. Because what we could do in theory then is go and use this. So how do we use a sequence computation expression? I can remember this, I'm sure. Seek computation expression. For timestamp in model dot timestamps yield and then what I want is button model dot description timestamp dot description, don't I? Do yield. Tell you what, that might help. Model.timestamps. Model.timestamps dot. Shall we declare that that's got a value and let it go boom if it doesn't? Value of obj. Should work. Voodoo's streaming after me. Excellent. Glad to see. Glad to see we're getting some more streamers on. So timestamp, we need to... This is going to be a bit longer then, isn't it? Match model dot timestamps with sometimes goes to for timestamps in times this is still doing a moaning, isn't it? Ooh, you might stream some Devil May Cry 4. Never played any of the Devil May Cries. And to be fair, that could just be an arrow. So that's still moaning. Partly because I need to go none goes to, well, nothing really, does it? Needs to just be a extra of nothing yet. You'll bang. There, that might help me somewhat. I'm getting struggling now, aren't I? Hmm. Ah, hang on. That makes more sense. That lot can also just get commented because we don't need it yet. That doesn't seem to have it in each method. So what is times in this whole thing? What's model? Model.timestamps is a stream option. Stream is a list. Now, am I messing up? Should this be a sequence to make this work? Model is a model. Model.timestamps is a stream option. Do you know what? I'm going to push forward with this and see why, and see if I can just force this to work, kind of. So it'll be timestamp.description. And then let's just set the time to be nothing. Why not? Open, close. Yeah, okay, so there's one to close off. So that's now saying that that's not going to work. The type A to sequence B is not compatible with the type sequence of Fable import React element. Oh, we can't just let bind in here, can we? So what type does X get? It's a sequence of fable.import.react.react elements. Cool. That's what I was hoping that would be. So, why, therefore, does that all of a sudden not work? Because that, again, is children of that. So container, options, container option list, and then sequence of fable.import.react.react elements. Okay, so given that, why don't we have a function in here that says let timestamp list equal that lot? Or make a thing there and do it that way. That seems to be more sensible. And okay, for now we're dispatching and we're setting the times to nothing. Hey there, Pixelogic Dev. How are you doing? How's the app going? For those who aren't sure, I've seen Pixelogic Dev stream once or twice. Streaming streaming iOS app development. One called Cycles at the moment, which is out on the Apple Store. So this is not a joke. This is something genuinely out in production use. So let's give you a quick shout out, Pixelogic Dev. How are you doing? People who've got yappy dogs, if people are going to come in with their emotes and say hello to us all, I think we ought to reply in kind with yappy dog hype. So yeah, I'm glad you're finally able to stop by as well. It's really nice to see you in here. Although, yeah, I was going to say it must be late for you, but no, it isn't really, is it? Yeah, Pixelogic Dev streams unusual hours from about 9 AM UK time 5 a.m. their time, wherever that may be. Um, so yeah, reasonably early streams, great sort of thing if you're not that busy in the morning, if you want to just sort of have a stream on in the background, interact a little bit while you're working. Great stream to do that with. So okay, in theory, I've got something here that should work and give us something a little bit more interesting. Failed to compile. Okay, have I at least saved client.fs? Have I saved server.fs recently? Let's... Oh, okay. It's going to play now. So nothing yet has come up. Have we got anything come down? That is the question. So if I go and have a look at our console, did we get anything down at all? We got... get clip is deprecated. Use get playlist, get clip instead. That's probably not up to me. Player loaded, that's cool. Player loaded kicked off. What we didn't get though was timestamps. Unable to process a message, error not implemented. So what was this error? What error came down? HTTP error from the server occurred while making requests to the initial stream. Do I need to, and I suspect I do, restart the whole thing because we've been playing about with the server as well, and we probably haven't done a restart since doing that. So let's hope that that's what we got. Let's have a look at the console and watch it as it happens. See where we're at. And of course, no worries, Pixelogic Dev. I love watching your streams. I just wish I were about more often. Right, we've still got an error. We still have the error back. And our error says that, well, we can't get to iTimestamp API / initial stream. So let's go there and see what we actually get. Let's make the call. iTimestamp API initial stream. And it's giving us nothing. What did it do? Did it go 404? No, it gave us 99 bytes of a 404 not found. Okay, that makes sense. So why has this not kicked off particularly well? Because getting it timestamped should give us initial stream. Initial stream is part of timestamp API, which declares that it has an initial stream. And this is where all the names should come from. What was the actual response? Nothing in the payload. What we're doing, Pixelogic Dev, is working in F# to try and make a sort of VOD, a video on demand explorer for Twitch streams. So there are streamers, one in particular that I watch who we're mainly doing this for, called Old Man Sethus, who do sort of 6-hour training streams on, well, this one's the game Darkest Dungeon. And it would be really nice if we could stick in timestamps on a website of our own and quickly navigate into the into those streams. Ideally, then being able to post a link in their chat to not just a stream but a part of a stream. So, you know, if someone asks, well, what do I do in my first week? Someone would be able to post a link that wouldn't just get them to the first training stream, but say just over half an hour in, where that is. So that's where I'm hoping that this will go. Initially, just trying to get stuff working. On Thursday's stream, which is up on YouTube, by the way, I don't have a command for the YouTube channel, so if someone wants to search that out, that would be wonderful. And we can, you can see what we did then, which was mainly just making sure that the Twitch player worked, trying to get it to work with Fable, and in the process learning about the ref part of Fable.react. So now the issue is looking at this builder in particular. So we've got type name and method name there. Where do they come from? They come from the server, type name and method name, don't they? Where are type name and method name even defined? Oh no, they're just there. So builder, type name, method name. Cool. So
More shall gather. More shall enter the fray.
And thank you very much, Pixelogic Dev, for the host. Over there somewhere, I think the alert is now. So where are we building this? So with root builder, root.builder. So what builders are we getting? So from value timestamp API, which has initial stream, which calls getInit timestamps. It couldn't be. It couldn't be that we actually have to name this like this, could it? Apparently not. No, that's fair enough. So I'm back to the idea that it should be just called this. Is it just called timestamp API? That's again giving me a... Oh, it's telling me to go away. Very impolitely of it. Oh, now we're struggling, I think. Can I get a log of these kinds of things? So it's... Can I, when we boot this up, get a log of what actually is here? We can log things, can't we? Because remoting doesn't seem to be working for us, and this is really not nice. So we've done the create API, build proxy with whatever. We've got the typed proxy. Exposing as a service we've done. We know what that is. Oh, we've got a host from... Why did I not get shouted at when we got that host? Thank you, Zorkenheimer, for the host. I don't know if you're in chat, but we've definitely got your host now. So thank you. So we've done remoting from value. We've got an API. So scaffold from scratch, we're not using Suave, we're using Saturn. ASP.NET Core middleware would work. Giraffe, Saturn. So yeah, web app is an HTTP handler, and we're using that router. And when we had... I mean, this is the interesting thing. When we had this all set up as the task of that individual value, this all worked, and we got that 42 at the client, didn't we? So the server side of this, in theory, works, but I now claim that it probably doesn't. Let's call this a stream API, because this is actually what it is. Let's say the initial stream is fine. Client, there's probably not even going to be anything moaning about this. This is the thing. That still thinks it's an timestamp API, which I now disagree with. because it's an iStream API. But apart from that, a complete rebuild, or a run at the very least, should at least give us something. So Webpack is starting up there. We've got iStream API isn't there. Can we get an API? Can we get an Explorer for Saturn routes? This is an interesting question. Saturn Route Explorer, I knew that was going to happen. F#. I want to see what routes are in that routing table. Could I even debug into this? Or does this not even give me anything? So iTimestamp API is not defined, so the client hasn't built right. Oh yeah, I need to finish setting stuff up as well. So the client has got an error in it. The error being that should actually be a iStream API now. So we're compiled again. Let's go into our local host. We don't seem to have called anything of great interest. Have we? But we're pulling back an error that says that we don't have, cannot get iStream API / initial stream. Which, you know, if I were to check that on the right thing, on the right port, sorry, I would agree that we can't get iStream API initial stream. That's, I think, pretty indisputable at this point. Yeah, 404. So, why is it that we're not getting that? Because the server should be set up. We have a web app, which is an HTTP func to ASP.NET Core context to result. Now, this looks like a web part to me. And it does the whole remoting create API with a route builder from a value and builds the HTTP handler. So I don't understand why that web app is not behaving. Let's have a little look at some docs. Back to here. So that's how we use it. That's on the client. And we've got this set up, I think. Again, adding a new route, add another record field function, implement the function, restart the server. So, there's nothing too difficult there. And it's saying use the Saturn way of doing it. So the application has got that URL. We're using that router. The only big difference I can see is that route builder we've got in, they haven't.
A new subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
Thank you very much, Rastrus, for that subscription with Twitch Prime. Let's have a look at anything. Oh, it doesn't say anything about months. Anyway, Rastrus, thank you very much for the subscription. Go and spread that yappy dog love. Hey, sub's a sub, dude, lady, whoever you may be. Sub's a sub. All subs are more than welcome. As far as I'm concerned, a subscription is fantastic. So thank you very much for showing that support. Incidentally, anyone else who does have Prime, yeah, of course that isn't logged into Twitch. Yeah, go and spread that yappy dog love. You know, yapping everyone's streams and enjoy it. And like I say, plenty of yapping, plenty of yappy dogs. So we've now got a... Do we need to build a HTTP handler here? Yeah, we probably do, don't we? Let's see what Fable Remoting says. So yeah, I've just taken out the using a root builder thing. So that root builder now just isn't going to be used particularly. Oh! I think I know what the problem was for manually doing this. Let's take that root builder bit back out. Let's suggest that we are going to use the root builder and do this manually. I think we've moved somewhere. I think we need to learn how to use. Okay, so the server's changed. It's doing that. What we should be doing, ladies and gentlemen, is sticking the API part there, shouldn't we? That now gives us a document, and that's a very interesting one. That's more interesting. Intro with audio is 720,000, and I believe that that's about 720 seconds in, so that's milliseconds that's coming back as. Okay. Right, so that's more interesting. So why on our client side do we not have that there? And I wonder if it's because we need to do remoting dot with root builder on this side as well. That being said, we should now, in theory, if I go into 8080, we should get more interesting things back. Has this done a reload? I don't know. Okay, we're getting different statuses here, and we're not getting 404s. So what we've got now is intro with audio at the 12-minute mark-ish. Oh no, these are all still at 0, because we haven't done that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's legitimate. This is all because I haven't looked into getting the timestamp list to deal with the set time. So what we need to do here is go that set time needs to take a timestamp dot time dot total milliseconds, actually. No, total seconds. We set this as seconds. And seconds is a float, so that should all fit in nicely. Now that we've set that up, well, do we need to reload? Or no, it's apparently done. So intro with audio is about the 12-minute mark. First dungeon, 27 minutes 12, something like that. And first week, 33:20. Those are the values that we did put in to our setup. I would say. Is that somewhere near reasonable? Yeah, 12 minutes, 27 minutes, 12 seconds, and 33 minutes and 20 seconds. I think, hang on a second. That worked. I'm going to have a sound effect for that. So, we could manually go here and copy all of these through. And I don't think that would be particularly difficult. But I'm a programmer. I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that at all. So, what we've got is a way of... hang on, let me start again. Let's roll back. Unwind. What we've got is in shared an object, well, a record that we need to store these things in. So time span and a string. Now time span, you have multiple overloads on that constructor. I wonder if one of those overloads, and this would make this really lovely and mean that we probably don't need to write a parser, particularly. As horrible as it sounds, one of these could be that it just takes in a string and goes past that. Well, let's have a look at the server, because we now have an API here. This is a getter. Now, how do we, in our API, declare that something is a post? We need to declare that we're a post, and we need to, on a get init timestamps, we need that to spit out the actual one. So let's look at how we're going to persist timestamps. Because that's only gonna get called once, isn't it? So let's persist our timestamps. Now, in the safe stack, is there a recommendation before we go and use Dapper? Safe stack database. So what database technology is getting used here? Fable stuff, there's a DB there. Is there anything here of any interest at all? I mean, this is the other thing. Could we just store everything as a JSON file and just reload that in? Actually, I don't see why not. Or even, as a one-off, let's get this parsed out and look at potentially next time doing the persistence and just storing. In fact, let's do that. Let's copy that into a file in server. Where would this belong? Let's chuck it for now in. It'll be in the server, won't it? Just wondering whether it belongs in assets or deploy or something like that. So we can do fetches that way. See where I'm going with this, don't you? We've got a few ways of dealing with this. Let's just chuck it for now and see if I've got this right. Stream1.txt has all of that in. Server goes. I'm going to create a new route on here just for now called get text file. By the way, timestamp API is not going to be a timestamp API anymore, is it? It's going to really be called Stream API. Cool, so text file equals get text file. Just for now. We won't do it as a task. I don't see why they've done task there and then async await task. I'd have just done async all the way through and not bothered with that, but that's me. Partly because then I could get rid of F# control tasks. I could get rid of a lot of things. Let get text file. That can return an async of string. In fact, no, let's do a task for this one. This is probably more realistic to be a task. So file.load or get read all text async stream 1.txt. That's already a task, so let's shove that through async dot await task. Okay, so that now is moaning because text file is not defined. Can I just force a definition there? No, I can't, so I need to go to the shared one. Text file is also unique to an async of stream. It's not an async of stream, is it? It's an async of string. Why did I suggest that it was an async of stream when it's an async of string? Is that because I'm a moron? Anyone want to bet? Anyone want to guess on this? Anybody want to put any money at all on? Well, no, we're not a betting framework. Localhost 8085 API iStream API text file. Is that going to spit anything out? Yes, it is. We've got the whole lot. So that's exactly where we wanted it. That's happy days. So now let's parse that out, shall we? We don't need that as a text file API location anymore. Because what we need is text file is that. Cool. This all needs to actually go quite a bit higher up. And that is now literally a one-liner. So we've got that. So we now need to go and let parse timestamp that will take a text line, which is a string, and spit out a... Well, I can just spit out straight away a... What's it, can't it? A time stamp. For now, we just go line dot... Does split have the overload I think it's got? Yeah, count as well. So if we split it on a dash with 2, so that gives us the strings. Okay. And this is going to go pop if something goes wrong. That's fine for now. Let components equal that. Shove it through. No. Don't do all that. That's going to spit out an array, string array. Yep. So array dot map fun s goes to s.trim. Why not? So we're going to trim all that off. So we've now got a string array. And now what we need to return is timestamp, well, that equals something. And description, which is the easy one. Components 1. And I think we can just do parse exact on this. System.timespan.parse exact. Let's assert that this is going to parse. Using the specified... Oh, do you know what? Let's see if parse does the right thing, shall we? So the input is going to be components at 0. And it should just be time, shouldn't it? Not timestamp. Because I am a moron. We will not forget this. So, we've now got the each timestamp we can pass. So why don't we look at what we can do here. Comment that out just in case we need it. Let bang text equals get text file. And I know at this point someone's going to say do it with get lines or whatever. We can do. Text is now a string. Then we go text. In fact, get all lines should become something more interesting, shouldn't it? That should do the split for us. And that should be a string array, if I remember rightly. Yep, that actually is. So let text equals that. And then array.map which order is this? Takes the mapping and then the array. So yeah, text shove into it, don't we? It's the easy way of doing this. Fun line goes to parse timestamp line, and I think I've actually done a little bit too much here, but then we now shove it through a what do you want? A stream. So that's actually a list, if I remember rightly. List dot of array. And this is moaning because it wanted a, and we need to return this, don't we? And of course, I expected that to just say, well, why not use parse timestamp? That should work. And in theory, we should now have a rook of timestamps. Let's see if we get to use the Everything is Awesome twice in one night. So that's the server running. We apparently have a server. Do we have a client? If I go localhost 8080, that works. That, in an hour and a half stream, ladies and gentlemen, it's two things working. And just to sort of prove the point, let's say we click marked in the wheel, and that's quite a way in. Now, it would be nice if these would scroll up. Curios, this is where we're talking about, yes, we do want to use a lot of things, but no, we're not going to use books, because books are bad in this game. At some point, we do need to clean this up and make this more of a reasonable setup. And we need to have a filter on this as well. I think those are two more things that we need pretty soon. Not going to bother dealing with multiple videos yet. We don't yet have the timestamps for the other videos. So I don't see that being the best next move to make. What I will do, I do think we need the search in there. I do think that we need a bit of styling at some point. But essentially, this is now actually somewhere near usable. Surprisingly enough. I don't know. I mean, what happens if I shrink the page? The player's width and height are pretty fixed. So this won't yet really work on mobile. We need this to be more mobile friendly. We also... Is there anything else that we really need? We need more mobile friendliness. We need this to filter. Oh, one big thing, and I will talk to Old Man Sethers about it, is I do wonder if we hadn't ought to create something where we can easily add timestamps to videos, and maybe have a Twitch logon and allow mods of Old Man Sethers' channel to add timestamps and manage timestamps in this setup, so that we can have these things done more. Also, then, if we kind of abstract this out to more people using it, then for other sort of streams, it'd be handy for them. So carry on with the idea of using text files while we've got text files. But apart from that, I'm very, very happy that we've got something in relatively little time that's reasonably well, that does something akin to work. And I mean, okay, the Fulmer buttons are shrinking. I do need to do something with that player. We need to look at the Twitch API for that. So, that out of the way, let's go into closing spiel mode. Hang on, scenes there. So, short one tonight. As I said, I'm not feeling 100%, and to be fair, we've come to a really reasonably decent place to stop. So, if I go and have a look for someone to throw a raid in the direction of, because I can English really, really well. And if anyone believes that, you'll believe pretty much anything. Okay, so who's on? Let's see if... Oh yeah, we have muted everything. This is good. Who's online? Who can we throw raids at? If anyone has any ideas of someone to throw a raid towards, please do let me know. Again, ideally programming. Again, really just kind of ideally people that we know that we like. So let's actually go and have a look at the twitch.tv. Let's have a look at the team. See if anyone's if anyone other than me and the life coaches is streaming. Yes, Robert Tables and Dev Chatter are streaming. Do you know what? Let's go and say hello to Brendan at Dev Chatter. He's dealing with, oddly enough, times and time zones. What's Robert Tables doing? No, I think we're going to go and say hello to Dev Chatter. So, let's get ourselves a raid call ready. Anyone with Yappy Dogs needs the raid call that I'm going to put out now. Yappy Dog Raid. So that's the Yappy Dog Raid for those of us with Yappy Dogs. For those without, it's just that. Let's go and say hello to Brendan. Let me quickly get to his site. Let me go and get the raid on the go. I will see everyone Thursday night, hopefully to carry on work with this. I'll get it uploaded. I'll probably set the repository public soon as well. And try and deal with some more kind of infrastructure stuff. So, raid Dev Chatter. Let's go and say hello to Brendan then, everyone. Remember the raid calls, and remember that we have another stream on Thursday. Wow, I got a load of hosts tonight. Well, thank you very much for everyone that did host as well. I'm sorry I didn't get to everyone in time. So, Brandon Satram, Jitter Jack Pie, Sushi Codes, Tyler on Hard, Pixelogic Devs, Zorkenheimer, and C Sharp Fritz. Thank you all very much for the hosts. And we're going to go across and say hello to Brendan now. Good night, everyone. See you on Thursday.